Hey everyone, my name is Jackson, and today I'm going to be talking about the awareness and perception of Cancun. Cancun, Mexico is very well known for many different outdoor attractions and activities, such as beautiful beaches, water sports, and etc. Cancun is very well known for the resorts all over the city. Some of those include Wall Fort Astoria, Paradisus Cancun. It is a perfect place for all people who are wanting to enjoy a relaxing outdoor getaway, while also getting a lot for your money with the currency of a US dollar, getting more for your money there. It is a great destination for just a couple to go or take their family. It's a great destination spot for really anyone. The image of Cancun compared to similar locations such as Miami, that has also a pretty similar climate. You definitely will be saving a lot of money if you choose Cancun over Miami. For example, you could get a place to stay at a resort for half to a third of the price of a stay in Miami. Cancun is known for their world-class accommodations, so it makes a perfect sense regardless of where you stay while visiting there. The next part I'm going to be talking about is our survey results that we shared with friends and family and had them respond in how we had the questions. The data we collected shows the majority of individuals that answered our survey would indeed like to travel and visit Cancun. Most of the respondents have not been to Cancun, so it would indeed be an ideal vacation spot for the individuals who answered our survey. Most of the responses show their responders also travel twice a year with that range of more than 100 miles. The age group of people that responded mostly ranges from the age of 18 to 25 mark, showing that it is a younger group of people who responded. If the people who took the survey end up going to visit Cancun, most of the people do live near a major airport that they can travel to and from Cancun very easily. In all, the ideal length of the stay the respondents responded with ranges from 5 to 10 day stay. This is a perfect amount of days for most people and provides the perfect amount of a getaway from the normal. A good chunk of respondents agreed they would travel to Cancun just for the food and to even learn about the Mayan culture. This showed the culture of Mexican heritage is important to visitors. A vast majority agreed they would travel just to relax on the beach, which makes perfect sense because those white sandy beaches are really awesome. As the response also concluded that close proximity to the beach on your stay to Cancun is important to most. Cancun is also a great place to visit, and according to our data, partially agreed that tourism has increased crime, which happens to the best of tourist destinations. Hopefully Cancun can work around that and keep the crime numbers down low. Thank you.
Hey everyone, we wanted to talk about what Cancun is like today for all of you so you can know. We're kind of here in not the best time of year. There's kind of two seasons in Cancun. There's the wet season and the dry season. And the wet season lasts from September to the November. And not many people come during that time of year because of all the rainstorms that come in. But also, the busiest time of year is from December to April, kind of when it's not as nice over here in Washington, so people can escape that and go to Cancun. And we're out here at the beach in the ocean today, and we got the beautiful ocean with so many fish to see and to just relax at the beach with the long miles and miles of white sandy beaches along the shore. And it's so beautiful to be out here today. But it kind of sounds like there might be a rainstorm coming in, and I'm a little bit afraid. So I might get my hood on here because I hear it coming in real quick. But I'm glad y'all could make it today, and we're gonna end that here so that I don't get too soaked.
Alright everyone, I wanted to talk about everything I know about the beaches in Cancun, Mexico today so that you can know a little bit more about what it's like to go and experiences the beaches there. And so there are three main types of beaches. There are three ones that are popular among everybody. And the first one is La Playa Delfines. And so La Playa Delfines, when you translate that into English, that means the Dolphins Beach. And that comes from a story, a super awesome story of back in the day when you could see dolphins swimming along that beach, and you can still see them in the early mornings, which is such a amazing feature of that beach there in Cancun. And it's the most popular beach there in Cancun among the tourists. But luckily, it is such a large beach that it makes it possible to hold everybody that's coming and visiting. And so that second beach that is so popular is La Playa San Miguelito. And this beach, it's a super quiet and peaceful area where many locals as well as tourists go to visit. And that's because it's so close to restaurants and open air markets that allow easy access to buy food and just enjoy your time on the beach. And so that last beach that I wanted to talk about today is La Playa Tortugas. And this beach is super popular for the fact that from April to August, the seaweed levels are super high in Cancun, which makes it less enjoyable to enjoy the ocean and such. But this beach, La Playa Tortugas, has the least amount of seaweed during that time of year. And so it makes it very popular to go during that time of year to be able to enjoy the ocean just a little bit more. And I hope you enjoyed all that information about all the beaches there in Cancun, Mexico. Hola, bienvenidos a La Vida Más Fina. As a local cowboy here in Cancun, I wanted to talk a little bit about how infrastructure and superstructure of Cancun has grown so greatly. Back when I was just a kid, we only traveled by horseback around as the local cowboys. But nowadays, everybody has a car, everybody has transportation, and the transportation in Cancun is so amazing. There's so many taxis to help people get around, and there's so many other opportunities offered by the resorts here in Cancun that just offer full car services, taking their hosts to local restaurants and such, and just making everything such an amazing time. And the question could be asked, why has that grown so much? Why do we have those things here in Cancun? And that's because of the target market that comes from the Americans. There's so many Americans that come here and visit Cancun every single year. Out of the numbers that we saw last year, there was 9.5 million tourists that came into Cancun over the course of the year. But 5.6 of those were Americans. And that's a large chunk of that 9.5. That's more than half, which shows that, in part, most of our target market is those Americans, and that's why we provide such amazing infrastructure for them and for the other people that come to Cancun. And so we hope to see you soon.
Next, we'll discuss the economic impact of tourism in Cancun. As a group, we have found that tourism is absolutely vital to the economy in Cancun. It is not only a major producer of income, but it has created millions of jobs and is rebounding rapidly since the natural decline during COVID. To get more specific, Quintana Roo is the Mexican state in which Cancun is located, along with many other tourist locations in Mexico, such as Playa del Carmen, the island of Cozumel, and Isla Mujeres. Tourism accounts for 87% of their GDP. Cancun alone accounts for at least 8.4% of that GDP and has created over 2.5 million direct jobs and over 5 million indirect jobs. Prior to COVID, inbound tourists generated over $6 billion. During COVID, it dropped down to $2 billion, but since COVID, it has increased back up to $3.6 billion per year. Next, we'll talk about the social and environmental impacts of tourism. One of the negative impacts tourism has had on Cancun is the increasing crime. Due to the popularity of the destination for tourists, it has attracted certain crimes that specifically impact tourists. These crimes include extortion upon entry into the country and even during certain excursions from less trusted vendors. There is also fear among tourists to travel outside of resort settings due to fear of kidnappings, which is a legitimate threat in the area. On a more positive note, tourism to Cancun has contributed to many people seeing the Mayan ruins and learning more about their culture and heritage. With the ruins being just under 2 hours away, many travelers visit the ruins as part of their Cancun trip, which has resulted in over 1 million tourists visiting them each year. As we wrap up this presentation, we wanted to complete a SWOT analysis that will cover the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats that Cancun is facing as a tourism destination. One of the many strengths Cancun has is that there are many helpful amenities for tourists, such as full-service resorts and hotels, lots of opportunities for transportation, close proximity to an international airport, and many different excursions and experiences they offer, such as the breathtaking beaches and other natural scenery. One of the most common weaknesses we have identified is the inconsistency in arrivals and departures when it comes to air travel. This includes things such as delays and cancellations of flights. And we have also identified the amount of crime in the area outside of the resort environment as a weakness. There are a few opportunities for growth, which we have identified as an effort towards reducing crime in any capacity, as well as advertising those advancements they make and advertising the safety measures they already do have in place, especially within the resort settings. Another opportunity for growth would be better marketing Cancun as a winter getaway for states that experience colder winters. The beaches in Cancun are arguably the nicest throughout the months the United States are experiencing winters, and this could increase the inbound travel during those months if more people knew about the perks of visiting during an off-season. The biggest threat to tourism in Cancun is currently the perception of crime, especially in the instances some tourists are facing upon entering the country. Many tourists have made accounts of being extorted leaving the airport, and there is an alarming amount of kidnappings and crime in general in Cancun and the neighboring cities of Tulum and Playa del Carmen. We have identified many strengths that Cancun offers, as well as some weaknesses, and we think that if those weaknesses could be improved, the tourism industry could improve as a whole. We really thank you for listening to this presentation, and we hope that you'll be visiting Cancun sometime soon.